Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. The next topic today I want to talk about is my favorite strength exercises for runners. Now, in my practice, I've been getting lots of, obviously parents, as we get older, 40, 50 and 60 years old, people tend to want to start running as well as their gym work. And I always sort of put a bit of a precaution on that because running can do damage to the body, but it is good obviously for health and wellness. So these are my favorite strength exercises to help you not get injured and not be in a lot of pain after your runs. Okay, number one exercise is Bulgarian Split Squat. Now, once you follow through to this video, you might find that they're very similar exercises. That's because it's all about balance when you're going up for a run. So you don't want to hurt yourself. So you want to strengthen up the muscles that you need for when you do go running so you don't pull up tight or sore. So, a Bulgarian split squat, you find a bench in the gym, stand in front of the bench, take 1 foot forward, and then the back foot you put on the bench. Now, you want to plant your foot into the floor, screw your feet into the ground. It's very important because you want to have the connection into the floor, helps the ankle, calves, your knees, your quads, and most importantly, your glutes, which is your power muscle, which is where it comes from when you're running. As this exercise mimics the motion of running. A lot of clients come in and they end up being sore after a run and they don't realize why. Because you're not using the right muscle. When you're running, you want to use your glutes, you want to use your quads, you want to use your knees and ankles. That's where all the power comes from. And if there's a weakness somewhere, generally that'll tell you when you go out to running what happens. Number two exercise, dead bugs. It's a core exercise, but like I said before, all these exercises are balance, strengthening, but also coordination, because when you're running, you need coordination and balance. So find a bench. You want to lay on your back with your feet up in a tabletop position, head down, hands straight up. Now, the common mistake when I see with clients is people tend to do this and they look like a dying fish in the pond. Now, what you really meant to do is you want to flatten your back against the bench so your core switches on. And what I mean by core is not just the abs, the obliques, the hips, the pelvis, everything switches on, your pelvic floor, everything else. So you really squeeze this part. And then with the arms is you want to go opposite arm to foot, like so. Whatever goes down, the other side goes down. So right to left, left to right. And as you're doing it, you're maintaining the pressure of your spine against the back, like so. And that just helps to build core strength, but also coordination, balance, when you're out running. The third exercise is balance, single leg step up balance, however you want to call it. Different ways, different names, but this is just the one that helps with your running. So you want to find a bench. You want to stand on that bench. If you want to use weights to help you balance, you can. But the key thing is slow tempo, slow motion, slow and steady wins the race. So you find a bench, you stand in the middle, you're standing on the edge of the bench, and with the foot that's dangling, you want to try and lower your feet to the ground as low as possible. Generally what I do with my clients is I tell them to try and slow down and take at least 3 to 4, 5 seconds to get down to the floor. How does that look? Like this. So you balance, 1, 2, 3, 4, and down. Now, why is that? You're training your ankles, getting more mobility, stability in the joint, so you don't get calf soreness when you're running, but also knee strength and quad strength. Like so. Get to the end, dangle, balance, and you might find as soon as you're dangling, you're doing this. That's your knee, that's your ankle working, trying to find their balance, trying to find the stability. 1, 2, 3, 4. Common mistake with this one is, with the plant leg, You don't want to do this. You don't want to go down and then come up with your ankle like that. A lot of clients come up because they don't have the mobility yet to keep your foot on the ground. So you want to try and keep your foot as hard on the bench as possible. Fourth and final exercise is a dynamic movement, because when you're running, it's dynamic. So I wanted to give you a dynamic movement that you can do in the gym that's going to really help pretty much every muscle. This is really, it's not one or two, this is like 7 or 8 muscles in one. So it's a kettlebell swing. So what that is you go, stand on either side of the kettlebell, you grab the kettlebell. Pretty much let it dangle, and then what you do is dynamic, so just use the motion. You're going to bend your knees, and then literally lift up. Bend the knees, lift up. Now, a funny way that I like to explain this, which some of you might laugh, the funny way to explain that I like to do with my clients is, pretend that you're in the toilet and you're wiping your bum after a number 2. So, that way, that's how you know the motion. Number 2, wipe the bum, come forward. The motion is all in the hips. You want to put your hips back. You really feel your glutes, hamstrings and lower back work, but also good for knee stability, ankle mobility. So when you go out running, you don't hurt yourself. And as we all know, as we get older, as parents, we start to get stiffness, soreness when we go out running, and we don't know why. The main reasons why is because we have weak muscles, and we think that when we go out running, it's going to help us with our health and wellness regime. Now, it will, don't get me wrong, but you need to learn how to incorporate proper strengthening exercises so when you go out running, you don't hurt yourself. Okay, those were my top 4 strength exercises for runners. Please give them a go. Let me know how you went in the comments. And if you love that video, hit that like and subscribe button and share the love.